the game of chess, you're going to want to increase your ELO because it's just a lot more fun. One of the ways to increase it is to get an opening that you like and stick with it. This is a game I played yesterday, and I used my same opening, King's Pawn to E4, and these are all standard opening moves. It's the Vienna game, the Anderson defense, and I moved my pawn up because I want to deny this bishop coming here to threaten my knight and mess up my pawn structure. He moves his knight up to c6. I move my knight out, so we've got a lot of knights out. Then he moves his pawn up to open up his bishop to be able to go here. So one of the things that I do is I pin his knight to, because of the king, he can't move his knight now. Now he could threaten me, and that would be, either kick me out of the way or force me to make a commitment to take the knight. So my next move, he goes here, and I didn't raise this, so he gets to trouble my knight. So then I go here so that I can open up the bishop. I decide that if he does take, I can just take with my queen for now and be fine, and I'd rather continue my opening moves. So he gets his knight out, and the database thought he should have gone there. And then I move my pawn up to kick his bishop out of the way. I pretty much got everything where I want it. And so he moves back, which actually is kind of a trap. I go there and I would be able to take his bishop because he's going to have to move his bishop away. Now, if I could advance this pawn, there's nothing he could do and I could take it. Now then, if I had noticed it, I could have threatened his knight, and his knight only could go there or there. And, I'm sorry, he could go here too. Never mind. I couldn't have won the knight. At any rate, so I move my bishop up here. I have in mind getting my queen and my bishop on that diagonal so that I can take the knight and a free pawn. He moves his queen up there. Well, that lets me fork the queen and the knight, although I didn't see it at the time. So always be looking for this as you calculate, as you think, what can you do? I could have moved my pawn up there and forked his queen and his knight. Instead, I go here because I had in mind threatening his queen, making it move, and then also possibly going here and forking the king and the rook at the same time. So he moves his queen back, which is wise, because I, would have taken that pawn. He saw that. So I moved my queen up. I think I'm going to castle on the other side, because this side I'm going to be using my pawns to go forward and cause trouble for his side of the board. So he castles on that side, which I'm not sure was very wise of him, because I have my pawns all spread out to come and play. So I take his knight to mess up his pawn structure on this side. I'm not sure how wise that was, because it allows him to have an open corridor. Then I get my knight out of the way because he's threatened it. Because when he moved his, when he moved his pawn up, he threatened my knight. So I had to move my knight. I like my knight being here when I have castled on that side. He moves his pawn there. I decide not to take it. And I could have taken a free pawn. I did not see it at the time. So always be looking for what you can take that's free. Look for everything you can take. He moves his pawn down, and then I have to move my knight out of the way. I move it over here to threaten his bishop, because his bishop is free. He's going to have to either protect it or get it out of the way or lose it. He got it out of the way, which is fine. So then I take his knight and decide just to go up and mess up his pawn structure before he can do anything else. So he does. And then I move my queen over to either take that pawn or cause it to move or something. He moves his pawn down, which is fine. And then I take it. And then I have an open corridor right in front of his king, which I think is awesome. He takes the pawn, gets ready to take a free knight. I put him in check. And if he had taken that knight, he would have forked my two rooks, which wouldn't have been a very happy thing. But at any rate, the next move, he moves there to forestall the check, because I certainly would have done more with my queen if he hadn't done that. So I moved my queen there. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do, but I know I want to try for a checkmate. And I know if I can get anything else to protect that, and if I could get my knight here, for example, then I could do a checkmate. But I didn't see a way to really get my knight there easily. So he moved his queen there, and so I thought, well, he's threatening my knight. I'm going to have to get it out of the way. because it's a problem. So what shall I do? So I put it up there. I said, let's party. Let's get everything up there that we can. And I thought, man, what's he going to do with that? Because I couldn't take this, because now he could take with that, because it wouldn't be, forked anymore. I would have a discovered check thing I could do. And so I could have taken my knight somewhere, maybe there. I don't know. I could have done a discovered check. I didn't know for sure what to do. But he moves his rook over, wanting to add more to the party. I'm not sure what his plan was. But I went ahead and put my knight right there. Now, that was considered a great move by the database, and I liked it. It was the heat of the battle. He had 8 minutes and 8 minutes left. I had 7.5 minutes left. And so what's he going to do? He can't move his bishop. He's going to lose his rook, or he's going to have to do something with his queen. He should have moved his queen there, but he didn't. He moves his queen right there, and so then I can take his queen. He has to take, and then I'm going to get his rook. So I take his queen. He has to take, and then I get his rook. So I get to trade. Gets me some points up. So at the end of the day, I get 3 points up. And then we do a lot of moves and get things figured out, what we're going to do. I start advancing this pawn. He moves out of the way because I was going to advance that pawn and take that because it would have been pinned. So I put here to protect it. The database thought I should have put my pawn up, but as far as I'm concerned, would have just taken my pawn because he could have taken. He had the king on it. So I don't think that was a good move. So now he's threatening my pawn with his rook. His rook can take my pawn, but my pawn is protected by... He's threatening with his bishop. That's a bishop. So he's threatening it with his bishop. And so I move my pawn up, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I'm just going to go and see what kind of trouble I can cause. He moves his king down. Well, that puts me in a situation because he can take my pawn and not much I can do. So I decide to go ahead and raise my pawn. If he takes my pawn, I get his pawn or something. Wasn't sure what I was going to do. So he goes there to protect that pawn. He doesn't want me to take that pawn. Funny. So then I move threatening his bishop. So he's going to have to move his bishop out of the way or something or lose the bishop. So I was having fun with the game. So he moves his bishop out of the way. Great. So then I'm not sure what to do. And so I put my knight here. I put my rook here. So that I can go up and cause trouble for the king. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to cause. But he moves there, which is helping me. And so then I decide to take a position on the 7th row. So I'm threatening this pawn, although it's protected. I'm threatening this bishop. He's going to have to get it out of the way. And what he does ends up giving me the bishop. He puts it here. And then I put 2 rooks on this column, which I think is incredible. I know I'm going to sacrifice my pawn. Oh, well. So he moves his king up to cause trouble. Fine. I can still take this bishop for free. He takes the rook. I take back. And so I am 6 points ahead right now, which is pretty exciting. He goes to threaten my rook. That's fine. Move it back down out of the way. I wasn't sure what I was going to do. And so he moves back. But now I realize that since he moved there, I can move here and I can put him in check and threaten this pawn at the same time, which I think is fantastic. So I threatened his king, and I was able to. He moved out of the way. I took his pawn. He took that, and then I thought, well, I've got a bunch of pawns. I've got a passed pawn here, so I thought, you know what? I'm going to take his bishop with my rook. You know, it's a 5-point piece for a 3-point piece. Normally not good, but my pawn is separated by 1 move from the king. It means I'm going to get my queen first. And when he saw that, he resigned. So I thought that was a really fun game. So I could go on and mash through and get it done. But the point is it was a fantastic game. And so the way to raise your ELO is to use the same opening over and over and over and get good with it, and then get as good, and then play lots of games. I play games every day. I really work hard to continue to play games, and that's what I recommend to raise your ELO. So please watch another video, one about improving your game, and let me know what you think. Thank you so much.